Hi, San Ramon kiddos. I miss you guys so much, and I was thinking about you with art, and I'm so bummed we can't do more art together. So I started thinking maybe there's a way that we can do art, and if I can show you some art projects, maybe you can do them at home if you want to. Of course, no pressure, but if you are missing art and you want to do something that's fun, I'll try to give you an art lesson maybe once a week or so, and there are things that you can hopefully you'll have the materials at home. So for this project, it'll look something like this. Everyone's will vary a little bit. I'm going to stop it for just a second, and then I'll show you my table, and I'll show you all the supplies that you'll need for it and what you can do to get started, okay? All right, hold tight. Okay guys, so for this art project, you'll need a piece of paper. I have one large piece of paper, but when I actually did the project the first time, I used a smaller piece of paper, so it doesn't really matter if it's big or small. If it has lines on it, it's not a big deal. If you want a big piece of paper and you don't have one, you could always tape two pieces of paper together. You can get creative, right? The next thing I have is I have a lot of circles. This is a mason jar lid. This is a coaster. I have a little bowl that I found in my kitchen, a really little bowl in my kitchen, a bigger bowl from my kitchen, the outside of the mason jar lid, a water bottle top, and a speaker. Anything I could find that had what was round, I chose. Now, when you're going around your house, you have to check in with your folks and make sure that it's okay that you use the round items. I don't want you using something they say, no, you're not supposed to use that for art. All right, so I don't want you to get in trouble. The next thing you'll need is maybe some markers of some sort. I have my little container markers here, or I have crayons. Here are my crayons. They're crayons. Also, you could use watercolors if you want to. So what you're going to start with is you're going to start by making lots of round circles, and you're going to overlap them. Okay, so here I'm going to make one I might do one really big one, because I think that would be kind of fun to then have a lot of little circles going into it, right? And then maybe I'll do my coaster, and I just keep drawing these circles. Now, if you're in TK or K and it's hard for you to trace like this, maybe you have an older brother or sister at your house who can help you trace. Or maybe your parents can help you trace. My hope is that whatever you do, you can do most of this on your own, and it doesn't have to be perfect. Like that circle, my bowl just moved, so it's not perfect. I'm just going around. It does not have to be totally perfect. You're just gonna do the best you can, and you're gonna fill your entire paper with circles. Do you see how I'm intentionally overlapping mine? Can you guys see that pretty well? It's a little dark. Maybe I'll start using a marker for mine. I have a marker here somewhere. There it is. I think what I'm going to start doing is using a marker so you guys can see it better, but I don't recommend you guys using the marker at the beginning, especially if you're using things like glass bowls, because the marker might stain on the bowl. But the idea is you really want to overlap it so you have lots of circles going into each other. It makes it more interesting to look at. You're going to have lots of little spaces to color in, which is ultimately going to be more fun. Okay, so I'm going to now trace the ones that I've already done so that you guys can see them better. And you'll fill up your entire paper with circles. So right now I'm not going to make you sit here and watch me do the entire paper, but that's what you'll do on yours. I go all the way around as carefully as you can. I'm messing up a little bit because I'm in a funny position. All the way around. Whole thing. Do you see how I have all these little tiny areas I've created now for my circles? And that's sort of where the fun is. That one's a little too big there. That's sort of where the fun is, and that's what I want you to get, so you have all these little tiny zones. And then what you're going to get to do is you're going to get to color them all. And every little tiny space you have is going to be a different color. That's what makes this kind of a fun activity because you end up finding all these little areas on your paper that you didn't even really realize you did. This one doesn't work so well. Don't use one of these because this thing makes it hard to go around. I don't recommend that. Anyway, coasters. The coaster was good. Mason jar was good. I do like the big bowl too. I think the big bowl makes it a little easier, and then you can do lots of little things into it. It kind of reminds me of the Olympic rings. Okay, so now you can start to color. Now, what I was thinking was, younger guys, you can do anything you want, any color that you think looks pretty, and obviously anybody can do that. I was thinking for the older kids, what you guys might want to do is you might want to think about, like, if you made this part yellow and this part blue, maybe you'd make this part in here green, like the overlapping color would be the secondary color. You can think about secondary colors that I know you know about. Try to imagine the color wheel in your head, and you could think about complementary colors. Remember the complementary color for purple is, I don't remember what it is. Complementary color for purple is yellow, so maybe you want to put yellow next to purple. If you put in blue, do you remember what the complementary color for blue is? Yes, it's orange. And for red, if you put in red, your complementary color would be green. Maybe you want to do warm colors and then cool colors as the one that goes into it. Or maybe you want the whole thing to be cool colors or warm colors. You decide. You guys know a lot about color now. Don't forget that you know. Don't forget all the stuff you know, because you know a lot of information about these things. So use what you can and really try to make your piece as cool as you can do. So now this one I'm using crayons. On this one here, I used watercolors for these. So if you have watercolors at home and you like playing with those, you could use that. And you could also use, I think markers would work really well too. So there you have it. There's an idea. This, I have to say, this piece here, it took me like an hour to do this, I think, because each little section has to be colored in. So if you get tired of it, put it aside, do something else, and then go back to it. But really see if you can fill up the whole thing with color and make it really beautiful. And it's kind of a fun thing. You could sit and listen to music and just color away. It's kind of a nice way to pass the time. Okay, hope you guys are well. Take care. Bye-bye.